This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. Boring. Boring.
Okay, you gotta work. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. That's exactly what you're doing. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages. The hostages.
The return of the hostages. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Lembit Öpik here on Lembit Öpik Live on Unprecedented TV. And boy, do we have a great guest today. Before we go into that, the gift that keeps on giving from the conference season is, of course, the Labour Party conference. If you're watching this live, then you'll have seen that it recently ended. But the repercussions carry on. Why? Because not only did Keir Starmer basically do a party political broadcast for the Reform UK party, but David Lammy accused Keir Starmer of, essentially letting him down by upstaging him. Oh, yes. David Lammy, clearly jealous of Keir Starmer's appreciation from the audience, decided to say that the great leader of Reform UK, that's Nigel Farage, was flirting, his phrase, flirting with Hitler Youth. Flirting with Hitler Youth. You heard me right. We've been covering this quite extensively here on Unprecedented TV. What does that even mean? Well, apparently, David Lammy then had to retract that about 3 hours later, which is about 50 minutes quicker than Lucy Connolly, who, if you remember her, spent over a year languishing in prison for hurty words on the internet. Anyway, well done, David. David Lammy, you managed to upstage your boss by stealing the headlines the day after the conference ended. But what does all this mean? And to what extent can we trust this current government to turn things around? I don't think many people think that they're doing all that well. You could be the exception. If you are, then do tell me on X. I'm very happy to engage with you, especially if you're called Keir or David. But the problem here is, I very much doubt there'll be any kind of a nudge to the popularity needle in the opinion polls. Why? Because Keir Starmer seems completely out of ideas. His main plan is to tell you not to vote for Nigel Farage because he's even worse than Keir Starmer. And apparently, get this, he's not patriotic. Apparently, according to Keir Starmer, Nigel Farage doesn't even like Britain. That's a bold statement, but maybe he's got something that we don't know. We have a secret weapon here at Unprecedented TV. It's Marilyn Hawes. Oh, yes. Marilyn joins us now. Marilyn, good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Morning coffee?
Oh, my goodness. I don't drink coffee. Don't touch the stuff. My body is my temple. Is it a strong one?
Very strong.
In that?
I like a little kick in my coffee, you know.
Too much information. How have you been since I last saw you?
Very well, thank you. I'm marinating nicely. I'm very, very well. I've been laughing my head off at the Labour conference. My son is up there, actually. He had to go up there with his job. And I said, oh, what did you think of Liability Lammy? And Slimy Starmer? And all the other, rotten Rachel, the girl from accounts, and oh my goodness me. And he went, well, I didn't bother, Mum. I went to all the events, had a great time meeting up with my mates.
Well, that's not the reason you go to these conferences, or is it? Is he a Labour man, or is he just
well the job? Thing is, it's a big family dispute because his wife and he are in dispute because he thought, and rightly so, that Tory were a load of numpties and ruined everything, true. But, I'm old enough to remember what Labour were like before, and I've got no trust in Tony Blair whatsoever, never liked him. He's another slime ball. Teflon Tony. And,
but he got away with it.
Like any of them.
He got away with it.
The last election, I voted Lib Dem at the last election.
2024.
because I did vote when I was like younger, like all young people do, vote Labour, and I thought, oh, that was a big mistake. And I voted Tory, and I thought, after stuff that went on with Labour, I thought, I'm never going to vote Labour again. And I have met Keir Starmer. I was on this is a bit of a serious issue. I don't know if you remember a very, very sad case of Frances Andrade. Do you remember that case? She was a mum, had 3 sons, and she got to Cheetham's Music School. Do you remember this? And
no, go on. Tell us about it, though.
Right. So she was abused by her violin teacher when she was at Cheetham's Music School. And she had 3 kids. And lots of people, well, lots, one is too many, but said, oh, I was abused as well. You need to put yourself forward for this court case. And she didn't want to. Anyway, she put herself forward. And the barristers said at the time, oh, Mrs. Andrade, you are a fantasist and a liar, aren't you? That's what you are. And
what they actually said, hang on, who said that? Was that the defense?
Yes.
Okay.
And said, you are, Mrs. Andrade, a fantasist and a liar. Be honest. And the next day she took her own life. And after that, Keir Starmer was so outraged, he said, right, we need to do a victims' rights bill. And moi was invited to go onto the round table, which was actually an oblong table. So off we went, and there was about 10 or 12 of us there, and we were writing this white paper for the victims' rights bill. And we got to round 1, round 2, and it was going quite well. And then the 3rd meeting was booked. And I thought, it was just when Brexit was on the horizon, and Jeremy Corbyn was then head of the Labour Party. And I thought, I don't know, there's something about him. I don't trust him. And he just disappeared. He evaporated. We had another meeting booked for the 4th meeting.
So you're talking about Jeremy Corbyn or
well, Jeremy Corbyn was then the leader of the Labour Party, right?
Yes, but who disappeared? Who disappeared?
Keir Starmer. It was quite, to me, because I can sniff out rats, you know what I mean? And I thought, there's something not right about, I don't know, there's something weird about you were saying Brexit was on the horizon. I can remember bringing up at this meeting, well, if Brexit happens, we actually do have some very good child protection laws. What's going to happen to them if we leave Europe, whatever? Have you got to rewrite all those, or do we carry those over? What's going on? And he started talking about Brexit and all that. And I thought, and then he was talking about Jeremy Corbyn. I thought, yeah, it's something about you I don't quite trust. 4th meeting was booked. Then he didn't turn up. No emails from his secretary, no nothing. And I thought, I reckon you want to hang on to the coattails of Jeremy Corbyn, and your aim is to be leader of the Labour Party. And bingo, here we are. And, on those grounds alone, that he was so flaky that he just wants to chase popularity, whatever elevates him. I don't trust the man at all. And his so-called sincerity about we cannot have victims in abuse cases in court being told they're fantasists and liars by barristers. This is outrageous. Correct, it is. And so he wanted to do this white paper, and nothing happened because he disappeared, evaporated. And on those grounds alone, I thought, I really seriously don't like you. So now I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't trust him with my cat. He's a slime ball.
I have to say, we're looking at a picture of him on the screen now. He made this big speech, which I think went nowhere.
Yeah,
rambled everywhere at the conference. And my problem is, aside from the fact that he's a dull speaker, you've got to be very careful about somebody who mixes up hostages and sausages. I'm just putting it out there, Marilyn. You have to agree.
I do agree. But what I also find outrageous is we're supposed to have free speech. Well, that's a joke, isn't it? Because
why?
Well, because you must have seen it surely in the press a few days ago. This elderly lady, the late 70s, stood outside some hospital with just a sign that said, coercive control is against the law. Please talk to me if you wish. The 3 officers arrested her and stuck her in a cell in a police station. She had a replacement hip and she couldn't sit down. Well, why was that offensive? What was wrong with that?
You're making this up, Hawes.
I am not making it up. I can send you the link.
True.
I can send you the link if you want to see it. Google it. Then there was another guy about a week ago. I don't know what he put some post out on X, right? And 4 o'clock in the morning, his front door was kicked in. He was dragged out of his bed, arrested for hate speech on social media. But they wouldn't tell him what he'd done. And his kids were asleep, his wife was asleep, and they dragged him out. How come what liability Lammy said about the accusation against Nigel Farage, in politics, in any job, if you are professional, in any role, in any job where you are senior management or even management, you have to agree to disagree with grace and strength. You don't slag someone off. It's unprofessional. It's childish. It's abusive. How David Lammy wasn't arrested for calling Nigel Farage a Nazi, whatever it was, and you're racist, etc. I think it was absolutely outrageous. Whatever your politics are, or none at all, you don't talk to another human being like that in a role of professionality. Now, Starmer, but he won't do it, will he? I couldn't believe it when he made him. I mean, crying out loud, Angela Rayner was bad enough. Good God. Blimey, I mean, always bought a dress too small, tattoos up her legs, just an unbelievable, awful sense of dress sense for a deputy prime minister, then replaces it with liability Lammy. What? I thought, this is a joke. And yes, it is a joke if it wasn't so serious. I mean, I don't know why Nigel Farage isn't
Definitely
suing
Farage.
him. Why isn't he suing him? I mean, it's just disgraceful.
Breaking news here, Marilyn. My team has been able to check this out. Right to Life News. International Free Speech Rows. Pensioner prosecuted for holding sign here to talk if you want an abortion buffer zone. You're right. You're right. I'm seeing it on the screen here.
Lembit,
that is incredible. I bow to your knowledge.
Thank you very much. I never go on any show without I've prepped.
I'm so impressed.
Oh, I mean, thank you so much. I bow to that. Thank you. Thank you. I feel honoured. I just think it's just, and all they've done to act in that childish, I'm throwing my dolly out the pram, it is so childish. And I said, what example? We've got a bad enough problem with young people in this country. What example is that showing when idiots like him and stand up and say that? And then Rachel Reeves says something, and that was not much better.
Well, let's just be clear. International Free Speech Rows, pensioner prosecuted for holding sign here to talk if you want to an abortion buffer zone. You're completely right. Absolutely right. I can't believe it. It's ridiculous. How can anyone be blamed for standing outside an abortion clinic because they happen to have the audacity to say here to talk if you don't want to have an abortion?
I mean, what? We're supposed to have free speech, living in a free country. What is criminal about these things? I mean, there's so much woke in this country. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't have a sense of humour anymore. Oh, we've all got to go down the transgender route. Oh, no, let's not, please. Do you know there's now books in schools for 5 and 6 year olds saying, my daddy is having a baby? I mean, that is child abuse. That is distortion. That is...
No way.
I am telling you. Way. I am telling you, there is a
My
book.
daddy is having a baby.
My daddy is having a baby. I am not joking. I mean, it's just appalling. It's brainwashing these kids. There is a sinister thing going on in this country about sort of social engineering. I mean, Keir Starmer, I worry about some of his language about, once you include everybody, what, are we all going to end up brown? I've got no problem with migration. If you want to come and work here and contribute and some of the loveliest people in the NHS are from overseas. But if you're going to come here and go on a boat coming over with your TikTok music and throw your stuff in the ocean, I mean,
I happen to like TikTok music.
Sorry, but I don't like the and all this stupid.
You look like a space invader when you do that.
I know.
It
winds me up. It winds me up. You look at the people in Epping. Why shouldn't ordinary folks go out and say, I am worried about my daughter, my son, whatever, walking down the streets? And then one of them goes and molests some girl. You got like migrants that go, oh, I can't be in prison. The cell is too small. Somebody else couldn't be deported because it would upset their child. Or I don't like the food where I came from. I mean, I beg your pardon. Human rights lawyers should go and do one, quite frankly.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're on form tonight. And this morning and all day, we've been seeing these kind of excuses from Labour. If you actually put it all together, you can see a justification for everything that's been said. You have to piece it all together because Keir Starmer said, I don't mean that. No, come on. No, listen. I don't mean that people who vote for reform are racist. No, come on. Now listen. I'm serious.
I mean, honestly, I'm not being funny. He couldn't inspire a pat of butter, could he?
Yeah,
I mean,
but the thing is, then he goes on to say, but the policy is racist. All right, so I vote for Reform UK. You say it's racist policies, but you're not saying I'm racist. And then that line, that incredible line, this may not be exactly right, but it'll be close. Let's be honest. Nigel Farage don't listen, Marilyn. I've listened to you. I've listened to you. Let's be honest. Nigel Farage does not like Britain. He doesn't like Britain. I mean, what's going on here? That's the Prime Minister. You know what? If he was a 15-year-old debating society competitor, I'd say, you've got to try harder than that, pal.
But also, he's now suddenly into the Union Jack flag. It's only because so many of the public have got, wherever you go now, you see Union Jacks. It's brilliant. And the St. George flag. Why shouldn't we? You look at America, they're proud of their flag. And you never get that in England. And why should these councils, where was it, Bury Council or Derby Council, having to take all these flags down? You should be able to. And did you see the one with Rachel Reeves where they stuck a flag in her hand, GB News, and she wasn't waving it? It was so funny.
Cambridgeshire Council, which is the Lib Dem Labour Independent coalition, were paying workers to take them down while the general public were putting them up. And meanwhile, you've got Keir Starmer surrounded by people waving these Union Jacks. And you think, hang on a second, I don't believe you're serious.
He's not serious. He's not. Everything he does is vote catching. And the funny thing is that everything they did at the Labour conference has played absolutely into Nigel Farage's hands. If you want to box clever, you don't slag off the enemy. You just are clever with your wording and don't look. Because when Nigel Farage's retorts to it was very calm. No, I mean, he could have spat fire at them, but he didn't. Whatever your politics are, it is no way to talk to another human being. And especially when you're in a very, Deputy Prime Minister. You see, if now Keir Starmer had any, I'm not going to say the word, I shall say spine instead, he would have suspended him straight away.
We're going to come back to that after this. Before we go further, let me just remind you, we have an absolutely amazing lady, Claire Dyer. She is one of our great campaigning presenters. Just have a look at this. You're watching me, Lembit Öpik, live here on Unprecedented TV with a particularly effervescent Marilyn Hawes today. Now, you were talking about David Lammy. You mentioned his rather unusual comment about Nigel Farage. Let's hear what he said.
Nigel Farage a racist?
I answered your question. I'm not going to play the man. I'm playing the ball as our leader did. I will leave it for the public to come to their own judgments about someone who once flirted with Hitler Youth when he was younger.
That is unbelievable. I will leave it to the public to decide what they think of someone who flirted with Hitler Youth when he was younger. Hitler Youth shut down in 1945.
I was just going to say
How
that.
old does he think? How old does he think that Nigel Farage is? Even Biden was a baby back then. 80 years ago. Apparently, 80 years ago, as a toddler, a newborn, let's assume that he was as young as possible, he was flirting with Hitler Youth.
The person who was going to communist camps when he was 17 was Keir Starmer.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm right on this one as well, Lembit. When other boys were out like, oh, I'm sorry, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, I have to be careful, associating themselves with young ladies, Keir Starmer was on a communist camp somewhere in Eastern Europe. He used to go over there. He's a Marxist. I'm telling you, you can check it out. I am right. And everything about him, he's a Marxist. He truly is. And he won't do anything about, and the other thing, what's interesting is earlier on tonight, I was on a show about I don't call them grooming gangs. I'm talking about the rape gang people up in Rochdale, which is still going on as we speak, and how the Labour Party are dragging their feet on the inquiry with this, which Yvette Cooper, oh my goodness, wasn't she a wonderful Home Secretary? What a loss she is.
Yeah, well, we're looking at Keir Starmer at the moment, but I'm sure they're one of the same.
They really don't want to do this inquiry because they rely on the Muslim vote.
Is that what you think's going on
That's
here?
what I think. That is what I think. That's what I think. Because also, there is a mosque somewhere near London that they fund.
And be careful now.
I'm going to have to be careful. I'm not going to say anything else.
Show. And we repeat it all times of day. So be careful.
I won't say anything else. I will not say anything else. But
you can do as long as it's not libelous. Go on.
No,
We've got one good lawyer.
I just don't trust him. One. I don't trust any of them in this government. I really don't. And now he's like, oh, why is it suddenly because the Farage boats that are coming across? I mean, they're all as bad as each other, quite frankly. But all they've done, the way they've conducted themselves at the Labour conference, be interesting to see what happens next week with the Tory conference, is they've played right into the hands of Nigel Farage, because I don't think the general public like this sort of behavior where you run your conference. It's about what you are doing. You don't slag off someone else. And the way they did that was just so despicable, so unprofessional, so outrageously awful behavior. And what a terrible example to young people in this country. And I don't think the general public like that. And so by nature of that, they will go, well, stuff you. I'm going to vote for reform then. Then they might not in 4 years' time. But, what I find extraordinary is we have a system where you can't, we should have, proportional representation.
Proportional representation.
Thank you, guys. I know you are a politician. We're a politician. But I don't understand why you can't vote out a government that is so miserably failing.
You can, but only once every 5 years.
Suffer it for another 4 years. Why is that? You were a politician. Tell me why we can't have that system. What would it take for us to vote out? So like with the digital ID, over 2 million people have voted against having digital ID. Now, if you have 100,000
against it.
But if you have 100,000...
Wait a minute. I'll just answer your question. what's happened is there's a petition about this. And
Yes.
at the time of filming, there are roughly 3 million people voting against it. They're not going to conform. They're not going to comply. So carry on.
But the thing is, if you get over 100,000 anti on a petition, it has to be raised in the House. Now, you've got nearly 3 million now, as you're saying. It's clocking up all the time. It's extraordinary watching the numbers clock over. And yet they're not going to discuss it. He has absolutely decided. And what's that discussed in Parliament? He is an absolute control freak. I mean, he just wakes up in the morning and thinks, oh, I think I'll bring in this law tomorrow. I think I'll do that. Nothing's discussed. No, you know, he's a one-man machine.
No, okay, then let's move on to something else then. The company that Keir Starmer keeps. This wasn't really the direction I was expecting to go to today, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. You may have noticed that the great Keir Starmer's bosom pals, to use that phrase, with Emmanuel Macron, who spends a lot of his time with his partner, wife, trying to prove she's a woman.
Oh, don't get me started.
Now be careful again, because some woman in America is in a lot of trouble with this. What are you going to say? Be careful, please. We've got one lawyer. We haven't got 100 lawyers. We've got just the one lawyer. One. We haven't got lots, so be careful what you're going to say. Please say it.
I just feel so sorry for the poor woman. I really do. I mean, she was his teacher. I mean, what was she then? A transvestite, a cross-dresser? For goodness sake. I mean, she taught him. He knows she's a woman. I feel so sorry for her that she has to prove it to someone. It is ridiculous.
Well, they said they were gonna have documentary evidence. I don't give. It's a morning show. I don't give tuppence what he or she is. I don't care. Doesn't make any difference to me. She's never made a move on me.
Nor me.
If it floats his boat, if it floats her boat, that's fine. The age thing is a bit of an issue, but we'll leave that for now. But what I'm interested in is that Emmanuel Macron, that is Keir Starmer's big buddy, is so febrile in his politics. People spend more time talking about whether he's married to a man or a woman than they spend talking about his politics.
Yeah, but Keir Starmer doesn't know what a woman is, does he?
Not completely true.
Do you know who I feel most sorry for?
99% no, come on, please hear it.
Do you know who I feel most sorry for?
You're not a patriot. You're not a patriot.
Of course he's a patriot.
I'm not saying you're not a patriot.
I feel so sorry for his boys. What must they go through? I would be so embarrassed to be his child. You know, I mean, there he is. He's a son. I think it's so funny how he bangs on about he's the son of a toolmaker. Oh, yes.
He made another joke. It's just like he doesn't even understand why people are laughing, I don't think.
And you are definitely the product of a toolmaker.
Yeah, it's an obvious joke, but I'll let you get away with it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. This is very true. But I mean, I mean, Macron, what are the people you say? Do you know, I'm not being funny. What must Donald Trump, what I think was so funny is that Donald Trump comes over here. He is the epitome of good behavior. Unbelievable. And the moment he gets on his plane, and rightly so, he has a go at Sadiq Khan. Yes, bring it on.
Funny.
And you know, and he actually told Starmer about if you let migration go on, blah 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 blah, this will happen. And he must sit over in America. And I just think, does he just think Starmer is a stupid puppet that he can play?
I don't know. I mean, in this picture that we're looking at, Starmer does look like a puppet. What was that program called? Spitting image. It looks like a spitting image puppet. And Trump just looks like saying,
did you know that's coming back?
I'm just here. I'm saying nice things, but when I get on the plane, I'm just going to do whatever I thought before. And he's just looking like a puppet. Now, everyone says it went really well. It went great for Trump because I think that Donald Trump and King Charles get on really, really well. I don't feel he's got quite the same respect for Keir Starmer.
I do think it's funny but before that, when he came over to Scotland and he hosted Starmer, and they were talking about free speech, and then Starmer going, "Oh, yes, we really believe in free speech." No, you don't. You're an idiot. I mean, does he think Trump doesn't know what's going on in Great Britain? I mean, I'm sorry, it's not great anymore, is it? In Britain, does he not think he reads the news and sees?
You just committed a thought crime. You said Britain isn't great. Now, Britain is great. No, I'm being serious because I've got it really bad. Oh, the answer is literally blowing in the wind. The thing is, you're mocking our amazing cabinet. You're mocking more than I've ever seen you mock before. The cabinet. Okay, not one of them has ever run a business. I get it.
Well, that's
okay, I understand that David Lammy thought that the blue cheese that goes with port is red Leicester. I understand those are simple mistakes. I recognize that port. I'm on a roll. Wait a minute. I recognize that Rachel Reeves couldn't get her CV right, and she was good in complaints, which is just as well. But all you do is not give them a chance. You are exactly the kind of person to talk about this country. You are not a patriot. I put it to you. He's right. You're not a patriot.
What worries me is that before he was Home Secretary, oh dear God, he was Foreign Secretary.
Are we going to be arrested for mocking the cabinet?
I don't care. I mean, the thing is, Lembit, I have to tell you, because I have no trust in Starmer whatsoever about free speech. You know what I'm like.
You'll be arrested for that.
I shoot from the hip. I don't take prisoners. I've lived too long to be woke and you can't say this, you can't say that. My daughter always says that to me. You can't say that, Mum. I can. I just said it. I've earned my stripes. I can't be this like, ooh, you can't say this. But I've joined the Free Speech Union because I'm so worried. I'm worried about Starmer. And
that
what
bunch of wild-minded individuals. That's unbelievable. Do you know the problem they've got though? They think for themselves. That's not really going to be good. Don't spit into your tea, please. Don't do it. Or coffee. Sorry, massive cappuccino by the looks of it. Right. So what are we going to do? What's to be done? What's to be done? We're nearly out of time.
Yeah, but I want you to tell me, as a former politician, why can't we vote out? We've got another 4 years of these numpties. Well, I mean, I worry that, I mean, crying out loud, the stuff they've done in 14 months, and then what Rachel Reeves, girl from accounts, is going to do everything against what their manifesto said. And then what is this country going to look like in 4 years' time? And will it be redeemable? That's what worries me. And why can't you halfway through, so you're in for 5 years, why can't you after 2.5 years have a review and a vote that says, sorry, you like miserably failed? I don't understand why you have to sit and see, because what they're doing, they're traitors.
You tend to answer your own questions, Marilyn. I'll answer the three things. First of all, why can't we have an election before then? Because that's the rules.
Yeah, but we need to change the rules, Lembit.
No, Labour's got an overall majority, massive majority. I'm going to change the rules saying, I've realised we've done so badly that we're going to have an election early. Think of his pension. Right, second thing is, what's the country going to look like in 2029? It's going to be a disaster area. But
it'll be brown. None of us have any money. But, the trouble is they got on with such a majority, and power corrupts, and absolute power absolutely corrupts.
But there has to be something to corrupt. Do you think that David Lammy is corruptible? Could he give worse answers than he's doing already?
I don't
he
trust Starmer.
He thinks Nigel Farage is 100. Even Joe Biden wouldn't have made that mistake.
When I saw, I thought I'd read it.
I don't want to mock. I
honestly didn't think there could be anyone any worse than Angela Rayner, and I'd not considered liability Lammy.
Liability Lammy. You heard it first here on Unprecedented TV. Okay, and the third question, of course, the third answer would be, can it be redeemed? Yes, it can, but we have to actually get somebody in there who really can do it. That's a subject for another time. I can promise you this, though. There is no way that this bunch is going to be able to save this country. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my opinion. It's not a fact. I'm not sure if Marilyn is voting Labour or not next time. Tell me.
At the moment, I don't trust any of them. I mean, I do know at the moment, and I voted, which I've never done before. I did vote Lib Dem because I thought I can't vote.
I used to vote Lib Dem, but that was for me.
I know, because you represented
I wasn't representing Lib Dems. I was voting for me, but it didn't work. But carry on.
Yeah, but I actually now, if it was right now, and may I be forgiven for saying it, because a lot of people would go, right now doesn't mean it would be the same. I would vote Reform.
Why?
Because, I don't. Oh God, that's another hour's conversation.
We've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes, Marilyn.
Maybe some of the stuff that is, maybe he is too radical. I don't know, but I think there's a genuine, real concern of random men coming into this country. They are not asylum seekers. They are chancers that are coming on these boats. And what, for goodness sake, are the French doing? How many millions? They can't get their feet wet, and they're giving them what do you call it? Those things, water aid things, and giving them water and life jackets and all of that. But what are we giving them all this money for? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely. Do you know what they should do? Do you remember when we had COVID and we had these Nightingale hospitals? Why don't they build on COVID? When we had COVID and we had the Nightingale hospitals that they were building, they slammed them up in about a week. Why can't they do that for migrant centres where they fast process who's going back? I mean, 7,000 people came in and 7 went out. Oh, my goodness me. That's amazing, isn't it? Clap, clap, clap. Woo! Well done.
Hang on. You're not being completely fair. If we can get the next picture up, we've got... we got Hello, Hello there. The cast of Hello, Hello. I always thought that was a documentary. Should we bring them back? And then
how many? I'm not being funny. Do you not have this fear? This is very serious now. I'm worried that you see so many women and babies and children come over. I do. When you've got, like it was the other day, 125 people on a small dinghy, and a woman and 2 women and their babies. Do they push them off? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
You don't. I do
think that's happening. I think what's happening is it's mainly men of fighting age who are coming, there's a small proportion of women and children who are coming. But by and large, I think it's mainly men.
Yeah, but we think before COVID, they came in on lorries and goodness all that, and their coming across was not so obvious. But now, of course, it's absolutely blaringly obvious. But you can't have these random people coming in. You don't know anything about their past.
Did you say glaringly or blaringly? That's quite
Blaringly, glaringly, whatever. But I mean, it's all very well for them to say, this is the other thing I don't understand is how what was her name? Shabana Mahood said, whatever her name is, said, right, so didn't talk about the people coming in on the boat. She's about migration here. So after 5 years, if you can speak English to a high standard and you've done a job and you've worked and helped in a voluntary organisation, blah, 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 you can stay. But if you haven't done that, you can stay, you'll have for another 5 years. Excuse me? Why? What is the point in learning English to a high standard, getting a job, paying national insurance, doing voluntary work, if I don't do that. I can stay for another 5 years. What if you can't achieve that in 5 years? Go back. Deport
Well,
them.
I think that's probably a dangerously good place to stop. Thank you so much, Marilyn. I'll let you go and get your breakfast now.
Thank you so much.
Important.
Naya, lovely to talk to you again.
If you're watching, if you're watching this live, then have your say. I will engage with you. If you're not watching this live, all I'd say to you is, let's see if our predictions are correct. That was Marilyn Hawes, who does some very, very important work when it comes to abuse and abuse charities as well. And she's done some very important work getting you thinking as well tonight, this morning and today. I think she might not be in the UK at the moment. I certainly am. I can hear her laughing in the background.
I wish I wasn't.
After we go off air, I want you to tell me where you actually are, but don't do it now. I'm Lembit Öpik. This is Lembit Öpik Live. Enjoy the rest of your morning if you're watching this live. Otherwise, enjoy all the other great shows that we've got as well. And Marilyn Hawes will be back possibly with her own show. Thanks very much indeed. And please subscribe to Unprecedented TV. The more you subscribe, the more we can do. Have a great day.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages.